All right, Math 3, we're going to look at some logarithms, definition of logarithm. Okay, we just want to really focus in on that definition. I want you to emphasize that a logarithm is based off of an exponent and that those two are intrinsically together, okay? You have to understand that the answer to a logarithm is an exponent. So these two are absolutely tied together, and we must be able to work back and forth. So the very first thing we're going to do is practice going back and forth from how to write a logarithm to an exponential form and how to write exponential form to a logarithm, okay? We can follow this little pattern here, and that will help us to write these. So look at this example here. B is my 4, okay? 2 is the y, and 16 is the x. So I'm going to follow this example down here. And I get 4 to the second power equals 16. Again, I can see that 6 to the third power equals 216. I want to follow that little example right there. Follow that pattern. Now, you can check out all of these. These are all facts, okay? You can put them in your calculator and double check. It's perfectly fine. All we're doing is practicing rewriting, okay? Now, in this situation, we had to remind ourselves of what's called a common log. If the base is not written down, if there's no number down here, like here there was a base of 5, here was a base of 6. If there's no number written down, it's called a common log, and common logs are always base 10. So this is a base 10 problem because it's not written. So I know this is 10 to the third power equals 1,000. All right? That's something that we're going to have to remember. In Math 2, you saw that. Now in Math 3, this is new for you, is we're going to start to see what's called ln. ln stands for natural log. Natural log, ln. And natural log is base e. Now what's e, you say? Well, e is what we call Euler's number. I know it's spelled with an E, it's Euler's, but it's actually, the guy's name is Euler. It's a number that he came up with. He didn't come up with, but he did, was able to develop it and figure out that it's always a number 2.714. Okay, I thought we wrote that down somewhere. It's about 2.718, It's kind of like pi. Pi is 3.14. E is 2.718. Okay, so of course that's just an approximation. We're going to use our calculator, so it's not a big deal. All right. Regardless, I now know that the base of a ln problem is e. So this is e to the fourth power is about 54.6. And you can put that in your calculator and double check that. Now we're going to do all these exactly opposite of that, backwards. So I'm trying to figure out how to write this out. So we'll back up and watch that again. Okay. If I'm going to change this to a logarithm, the log, I'm going to go 8. So it's log base 8. That's where I start. Of 512 is 3. Okay, so it's the same pattern as before. This next example, log base 9 of 27 is 3 halves. Notice on this third example here, I didn't write down 10, did I? Remember, that's a common log, so I didn't write down 10. All right, and I just wanted to emphasize to you that's why these are together, about the common logs and the natural logs. All right, now we're going to use that to evaluate. So these problems, notice, are not equal signs, so we're done practicing writing them back and forth. Now I want to use that definition. So we're going to use that definition here. What this is asking me here is 5 to what number would give me 625? Well, that's something I can figure out. 5 to what number would give me 625? So I just got to think about that for a while. And of course I can use my little calculator and figure that out, but the answer ends up being 4. Alright, this second problem is trying to ask me 2 to what number will give me 64. So that's what I'm asking here. 2 to what number will give me 64? Well, again, playing around using some common sense, it ends up being 6. Log of 1,000 is 10 to what number gives me 1,000? I can count my zeros and get that to 3. This one's a little trickier. I have to remember, hey, wait a second, 25 to what number will give me 5? Would you guys remember that the square root of 25 is 5? And we do square roots by using fractions, so that's 1/2. Alright. Now, this next section here is using your calculator. If you've got the newer TI calculator, TI-84 with the updated operating system, you can press the math button on the far left side and go to section A, and then it's just type them in exactly like it is. It's very straightforward. So I want you to run through those real quick, see if you can type all those in and get it. It's very straightforward. Now, log 250, you don't have to do that. When you get to log 250, that's actually your common log. That's on the main screen. And so is the natural log of 20. The last thing to look at is going to be the change of base formula. If we don't have a new calculator and we need to change our base, then we're going to follow this formula. So we're going to change all of these. And what we're going to change them to is we're going to change every single thing to a common log base 10. Because log base 10 is on my calculator, and I don't need to have the special operating system for that. It's just on the front, it's right next to the 7. So the B is the old base, A is going to be my new base, but for us, every single time, that's going to be a 10. We're going to change that to a common log of 10. Of course, I hope you recognize that the X here is going to go on top, and then that B is going to go on the bottom. So an example here. All right, check out this example over here. I'm going to do log of 7 over log of 3. Now that's the common log of 7 because I'm changing it to base 10, and the common log of 3. So I have changed it from base 3 to base 10, and now I can press buttons in my calculator. I can evaluate that. And that answer is just 1.77. Same thing here. I'm going to do the common log of 23 divided by the common log of 4. Again, that changed it from a base of 4 to a base of 10. Now I can put it in my calculator. Each of these works the same. These will all work the same, and the natural log, there's really no need to change the natural log space because there's already a natural log button on your calculator. So just use the natural log button.